This afternoon, having read in our schedule, four items that my understanding is being taken up together in the committee. These are all serious resolutions, um, condemning fake news and revoking a legislative franchise, and that's why I came. And I want to make sure that whatever vote I put in is an informed one. I wanted to give SMNI all the opportunity to give us reasons not to support revoking a franchise, because the last thing I'd like to see are for officers, employees, families to be affected and lose their employment, just like what happened with ABS-CBN. But I'm having a hard time accepting some of the responses from the representatives of the SMNI. But just to clarify, I understand, I think Attorney Tolentino, Mr. Chair, said that if anchors are doing things wrong, there's always, you can always address those issues by filing civil and criminal cases. So and I understand that, that goes for any industry. We all have a right to file civil, criminal cases, and I don't think that's a sufficient response. Does SMNI have, just like other media outlets that I think they have, which are internal guidelines to discipline, let's say, talent? Because I know on TV, if a talent, let's say, says something that's really, unacceptable, they'll discipline a talent. Do you have any standards or guidelines for your own people?
Can I respond that, Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair, I'd like to manifest that we submitted with the committee the TV and radio manual of operation, Mr. Chair. So we have a guideline, Mr. Chair.
No, specifically, Mr. Chair, if a anchor says something that just we all, 100% of the population agree is wrong. Let's say an anchor says, raping na lang ninyo yan, di ba? Okay? So, without somebody filing a case or complaining to you, how would you pick that up and how would you discipline that talent?
Mr. Chair, we have an editorial board, Mr. Chair. And for details, Mr. Chair, the operation manager of SMNI can explain that in detail.
If I may, Mr. Chair, the Honorable Congressman po na example is, of course, that's, kung meron po nagsabi lang sinabi nyo na repeal na lang yan, hindi po yun upa sa editorial policy ng SMNI. At sigurado po na kung hindi lang mapapatawag, ay matatanggal po kung ganun po ang bigat po na sinabi.
How would, if let's say no one complained to you, how would you know one of your talent said something like that? Because kanina, tinanong po kayo, I think 2 or 3 members asked you about certain statements that were, I personally felt wrong on red tagging, but none of you denied knowing those statements were made, so nothing was ever done. So how do you actually monitor? Because youths apparently don't monitor your own shows and your own talent.
Your Honor, if I may. Every afternoon program po, Your Honor, may mga report na ginagawa yung mga producers namin and assessment po. In regards sa problema po, dun sa may mga issues po or nilabag po yung mga anchors po namin, meron po yung po namin na nagpo-monitor, and maliban pa dun sa assessment na binibigay ng mga producers po, papatawag po sila po.
So, Mr. Chair, then I would assume yung mga pinakita kanina, mga sinabi, at the judgment of your editors, hindi rin report yun kasi parang okay lang. Is that correct?
With regards po sir, kung comment lang po ang sinabi, komento po ng ating mga anchors po. Merong certain gauge na ginagawa yung editorial policy po namin. Kung ito ay komento lang po ba, or kasi gaya po na sinasabi po namin, kung ano po yung komento ng mga anchors po namin, hindi po yung stand ng company. So kung meron po siyang sasagutin po, yung mga anchors po namin, siya po magiging liable po sa mga sinasabi po niya. Your Honor, I'd like to clarify po. Iba po yung iba po yung pinapatakaran po natin kung ito po ay news program or kung ito po ay commentary ng mga programa. Kasi sa news po, hindi po pwede mag-comment po ang ating mga, yung ating mga reporters. Iba po ang stand po natin dyan. But in terms po sa mga program katulad ng Laban Kasama ang Bayan, Pulso ng Bayan, commentary po ang mga programang ito, Your Honor. And may free hand po yung ating mga anchors po na magbigay ng komento kung ano po yung pinag-uusapan po nila. And yung komento po nila ay ito po ay personal opinion po ng mga anchors po namin. At ulitin, kaya po sinasabi po namin, kaya po kami may disclaimer dahil kung ano man po ang opinion ng aming mga anchors, hindi po ito personal stand ng network po.
Okay, fair enough, Mr. Chair. So may I ask, since you've been operational, I think it's 2-3 years, has there ever been a sanction or a penalty given to any talent that has a show?
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes,
Congressman,
please proceed.
meron pong, number one, I just want to put on record that immediately after we received the cease and desist order from the National Telecommunications Commission, we have never violated transmission on digital channel 43 and all other format under the supervision of the National Telecommunications Commission. Now, going back to the question of Congressman Paul, Mr. Chairman, we have, as a matter of fact, in the case of Mr. Eric Celis, when he admitted, we conducted an internal investigation. However, the internal investigation was preempted when he appeared before this committee and admitted or uttered a statement that in effect is an admission of a violation. So we immediately imposed the maximum sanction provided for under the Manual of Operations of the Suaraso Media Corporation, Mr. Chair.
So,
Which was, can you, what was the?
Which was suspension,
How
Mr.
long?
10 days. 10 days, Mr. Chairman.
and Mr. Chair,
Maximum in 10 days, maximum penalty para 10 days, right?
and that's the maximum?
No, Mr. Chairman,
This is also said.
yes, over the last several days, we have amended some portions of our manual for disciplining employees. And we have imposed a varying sanctions with the maximum of expulsion or termination of services.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Sponsor.
Okay.
Honorable Dasa, you still have the
Thank you,
floor.
Mr. Chair. Okay, thank you for sharing that information. That helps this particular representation balance things. So I'm curious, was that sanction done before or after the video showed by the Honorable Raul Manuel?
With respect to the video presented by the Honorable Manuel, Mr. Chairman, I'm not quite certain whether this video were called from the social media platform, because as I said in the beginning, from the time we received the suspension order and the CDO, we ceased to transmit any broadcast on the regulated transmission platform as provided for in the franchise of the Suaraso Media Corporation, Mr. Chairman.
To clarify, so that video was done on a personal basis?
No, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I wish the Honorable Manuel can clarify where he called that video, whether that was from a broadcast through free-to-air or from the social media platform.
Sige, Mr. Chair, can we have Honorable Manuel clarify on that?
Yeah. Mr. Chair, the video was posted in the online accounts of SMNI on January 9, 2024.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So it appears now it was still within compliance with the NTC. We did not air it on transmitted platform on free-to-air. It
So-
was on social media platform.
So was it before or after your sanction, your 10-day suspension?
After.
It was done after the 10-day suspension. So something like that, may I ask, what would your plans be? You sanctioned him 10 days, and then you saw the video. What action can a company now take?
The sanction refers to free-to-air. The sanction, the social media kasi, hindi po namin pwedeng sagkain yung mga personal na ano nila, na pronouncement nila.
Pero Mr. Chair, talent po ninyo, kasi after the 10-day suspension, you're paying him again.
No, we're not airing, Mr. Chairman.
No, my question was not airing. My question is, what positive action will you take after you spend, I think is he an employee, how do you call it, a contractual, talent, or whatever,
He's a talent, Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry,
He's a talent.
talent, okay? So he has some sort of financial relationship with the company. You have supervision with that talent. You suspended it for 10 days. You were suspended by NTC, and then you see a video like that. I mean, I'm in the minority. I'm not here to defend the speaker, but having seen what Congressman Manuel showed in the video, I think it hurts the institution, not just the speaker, and I'm defending the institution. So my question is, not whether you're gonna air it, so what sanction would you take now? Because it's germane to the issue whether you deserve to be revoked or not. So it's a management decision. Do you deserve to continue your franchise? It's not a hard question.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. As a matter of fact, after I saw the video that was presented by the Honorable Manuel, I have called the attention of the chair of the editorial board. If it warrants, we will conduct another investigation and impose the necessary amended sanction as may be required.
Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that, Mr. Chair. But it also highlights the fact that you're not really able to monitor your talent. Because it should not have taken a committee hearing to get a statement like that. Correct, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, as I said earlier, when matters does not, kung halimbawa po yung airing niya na nagkataon sa Channel 43, which is under the supervision of the National Telecommunications and pursuant to the franchise issued by the Honorable House, we will certainly take cognizance immediately. But since this is a social media platform, wala po kaming wala po, ang nire-recommend nga po ng aming law department at mga legal is kung may complainant, filean po ng kaso sila at papapanagutin po namin sila sa batas.
Sige, Mr. Chair. Fair enough. That episode was January 9th. To this particular member of the House, it's crystal clear to me that you need to have better monitoring and guidelines in disciplining your talent. Okay? I'll leave it at that because I have more questions.
For that, Mr. Chair.
Sige, Mr. Chair, I'll allow Attorney Tolentino to respond to that.
That January 2024 program, Mr. Chair, is just a form of a question. It's not a statement again, Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
It was a question, Mr. Chair, not a statement. I forgot, Mr. Chair, but it's a form of a question, Mr. Chair, not
Mr. Chair.
a statement. And granting it as a statement, Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chair,
granting it as a
I'll handle it.
statement, that is a personal opinion.
Mr. Chair, okay, no,
Are we referring to the same video?
yes, Mr. Chair,
I didn't see any
anyway,
question
Mr.
there.
Chair, I have the floor. You're entitled to your opinion, and the fact that you had to say that, instead of, I wanted an opportunity for me to help SMNI. Now, with that statement, it just irks me. Instead of getting a no vote on revoking the franchise, you were defending it by saying, nagpapalusot. You didn't have to do that, di ba? I don't think you're doing a good service as to this particular issue for SMNI. When it was in a formal statement, you're defending it, di ba? Anyway, Mr. Chair, because I don't know if we're voting today or it's gonna be more hearing. It hurts me when people lose work. And I'm trying to find reasons not to support this particular House Bill 9710, but they're not helping. Anyway, let me move forward. I wanted clarity from any of the resource persons because I wanted to continue the line of Congresswoman Brosas, Chairman Paduano. I was somewhat surprised when NTC said that they can, let's say, shut down a website or whatever it is online, provided there's a determination from a law enforcement agency. So my question is, if let's say there's a website or a social media account that's advocating violence, or some sort of an account or site advocating drugs, di ba? Do you actually have to wait? Do you have the power to immediately make a decision? Kunyari, may website selling drugs, di ba? I think all of us would agree that's not acceptable. Would you have to wait for the PNP or the NBI to make a determination for you to shut down that website? Mr. Chair?
UTC. Mr. Chair, if ever there's such thing, what we can do is we can take cognizance of such an activity online, and we deem it more appropriate to refer it to appropriate agencies to determine such the actions being shown online. We'll take cognizance of it, Mr. Chair, and bring it to the attention of appropriate agencies who may be able to evaluate it more thoroughly before we take action.
Okay, so meaning, Mr. Chair, NTC motu proprio cannot shut down anything online, correct? You would have to refer to someone else.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if we referring to the if we are to go back po kasi dun sa mandate ng NTC.
No, I understand. It's a yes or a no. So am I correct?
At this, right now, Your Honor, we are unable to.
Okay. Are there any government agencies that have the power to do that in their mandate? So, let's say, porn sites, trafficking sites, drug sites, ang dami po niyan eh. I've been told that many of the sites, social media accounts are being closed. So who's doing that?
Specific to your example, Your Honor, on say porn sites or similar sites like that. Uh, in this particular case, there's a say the OSAI, online sexual exploitation and abuse. These are cases. These are laws that provide guidelines that these are illegal or unauthorized. So there are bases for us to take action on that once the appropriate agencies are able to determine such violations taking place online. Same is true like with all internet.
Okay, so on certain, so it's criminal activity specific. There are certain laws that enable you to do that, like trafficking or sexual, what did you say, sexual
Online sexual abuse.
abuse. You can, on your own, shut them down.
That is upon the determination of the appropriate agency enforcing that law,
Fine.
Mr. Chair. Okay.
Does DFCT have the power also to shut down certain online sites?
In this instances, Mr. Chair, it was the NTC that, it was caused to the
So
NTC.
NTC. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Mr. Chair, I came a little late. I saw on the resource person list, SEC. With your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, can I ask the SEC, because I remember in previous hearings, there were allegations of charter violations, franchise violations, corporate. So can the SEC share any findings that we had since then?
Mr. Chair, based on the records that we submitted to the Honorable Committee, the SEC found that there were some violations for failure to comply with the reportorial requirements. And this is the main mandate of the SEC in regards or as regards the regulation of existing corporation. And our records also show that we have already penalized the corporation for these findings of violation, Mr. Chair.
Well, okay, I mean, a lot of corporations do that, and you just penalize them and they pay that penalty. So there's nothing more serious that's been uncovered by SEC, other than late filing of mandatory reports.
So far, Mr. Chair, that is the case with the subject corporation, Mr. Chair.
Okay, for the MTRCB, let's say the complaint was found, was final, secretary, the complaint was valid. What steps can MTRCB do? The Honorable Paduano asked, and it's been appealed, but let's just say that there was a final decision, let's say, against, what can MTRCB do?
There is a complaint, Your Honor. We refer to our adjudication in hearing committee. But if we already have a decision, Your Honor, final and executory, Your Honor, we, our monitoring and inspection unit monitors the said TV program or movie from showing or, yes, Your Honor, from showing. But,